So, this was a surprise when it showed up in my pile the other day. Um, anyway. Um, Welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristina. This is where I read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy smash stuff going on here. So, this, like I said, this was a really surprise when it showed up. I didn't even know I had gotten it, and I was going through my Flashback Monday pile, and I picked it up. I'm like, oh! I didn't even realize I had this. I didn't even realize it had shown up. I was like, yes! Yes! So we finished Flashback Monday and we sat down to read. Took about 2.5 hours. I had started to take notes and keep track of all the characters. And then I'm like, well, it's a standalone. You know, I'm not usually a standalone person, but I do enjoy Sarah Penner's stories. And if you have not seen my Lost Apothecary video, please go check that out. And please hit the like and subscribe. Have you noticed that if when you scroll through Facebook, you hit like often? Probably just to let a friend know you've seen it. You may not have really liked it, but you just want your friend know you've acknowledged their posting. And then you see some cute stuff on Facebook and you like it. But on YouTube, however, you hold back your likes. It's just weird. Just think about it. Think about the next time you're scrolling through Facebook and you're going like. And then when you're scrolling through YouTube and you're like, you don't like stuff. It's just weird. But if you could please like me, I'd appreciate it. So, the story is told from four points of view. And that's really all you have to pay attention to. And the traitor, one of the bad guys, comes out of left field. And you don't see that coming. Alright, so you have this is 1820s, 21 to be precise. And it flips back and forth between present day and 1821. So you have the two different time periods, which is normal for a Sarah Penner book. And you have the five, really, technically 3 point of views. 2 point of views are brothers, so it kind of makes it 1 point of view. And it's done in letter communication between the two brothers. So, it's 1820. We're off the coast. We're in Italy. And there's this little fishing village that has been protected from pirates, from scavengers, from all this stuff for hundreds and hundreds of years. And the reason they've been protected is that they have a group of witches that have powers and control the ocean. And they give their little inlet a serious undertow when the bad guys are coming by. And then when the bad guys leave, they make it go flat again so their fishermen can go out and get fish and stuff like that. So there's this thing going on for a long time. So then we have Mary, who has these special powers. And she lost her mom. Pirates took her mom years and years ago. So they tell everybody that her mom has died. That she died and drowned in the water. But the real story is she was kidnapped. And you don't find out any additional information to the end of the book. And then you're like, then you have some questions. Like, why didn't she do this? Or why didn't she do that? Or, if she had all these powers, why did she help the bad guys? Why? You have a lot of whys. And try not to spoil too much. So, the two evil brothers, Matteo and Massinio, learn of the problem in this little village, and they get Mary's mom. They kidnap her. Then we have Mary has her mom's powers. She's the only one. She's the last true blood. The rest of them are intermarriages or half siblings or stuff like that, and they don't have the solid power that Mary does. So Mary's the last one with the solid power. The one that comes after hers she has a younger sister, but the younger sister's like 5 years younger than her. So they've got this thing going on in their little village, and they're trying to protect the little village. Then, in present time, we have Haven. And she is an expert diver. She's been diving for a really, really long time. And she's working for this company. And she's going to do some photography underwater. That little area, that little cove that Mary was protecting, Haven is at in modern day. And she's been paid to go down and photograph. And when she gets there, one of those tidal waves, one of those really bad undercurrents happen. What are you playing with? One of those really bad undercurrents. And a yacht goes down. And 8 people die. Wait a second. No. Playing with wires. So, and then they get a volcano might be erupting. So a lot of the tourists leave, and the planes start coming in, and everybody vacates the area. A volcano's gonna erupt. Never happens. The sea calms down. So Haven wants to do the dive. It's really, really important. Her father supposedly found some gems down there, and she wants to go see about the gems. So then, of course, this yacht sinking happens, and the volcano potential thing happens. And the guy that's funding this decides that he doesn't want an all-female team doing this stuff. He'd prefer a male team. Even though he gave it to Haven and her women, and they're all excited. They've all rearranged their whole lives to spend a year in Italy and doing the diving and all that kind of stuff. The guy pulls her off and gives it to a male crew. And it turns out this male crew has nefarious purposes. They're looking for gems. And he had seen the notes of Haven's dad that he had found gems, but he didn't retrieve the gems. He left the gems there. So, then once she gets pulled, once her team gets the news that they've been canceled, the only 2 that had arrived in Italy was Haven and her friend Mel. So Mel decides to go home, but then she comes back. But in the meantime, Haven is left alone, and Conrad shows up, and he's like, ha 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 ha, I got your dig, ha 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 ha, I'm gonna go down and do all this diving. So she finds a local dive shop and a local guy to take her out on his boat to do their diving. So they go down and she does some photography and stuff like that, like she planned. And after a couple dives, she finds what she's looking for. She finds the ship that she's looking for. But she also spots the Aquila. And being the nosy posy and the curiosity, she goes to the library and researches the Aquila. And she comes across Holmes's diary notes. And the diary reveals that him and Mari were in love, like a little Romeo and Juliet situation. And Mary, back in 1821, is supposed to marry Carus Carso. I can't pronounce it right. Carso. He's a little on the wealthier side. He's from Rome. He wants her to move to Rome. And Mary's little sister wants Carso for himself. I mean, she's very angry at her sister Mary for getting Carso. And being able to move out of town and go to Rome and blah, 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 blah. But Mary's in love with Holmes. And she's been exchanging letters with Holmes. And Holmes is doing the shipping thing. And he just happens to end up on the ship with the bad guys. And he learns some of the bad guys' plans. So he sends letters to Mary. When they go into port, they send mail out. Surprisingly, nobody reads each other's mail. So that's good. So Mary gets warning that the bad guys are coming. So they go to make plans to get the bad guys. And Mary and Lila, and there's three of them go out. And Lila gets kidnapped. And in the meantime, Mary kills one of the brothers. So now the other brother is out for serious, serious, serious revenge. But the other brother got away with Lila. So he's the one that took Lila. And Holmes is out on that ship stressing about the whole situation. He doesn't know exactly what's happened on land yet, but he does get some information by overhearing. And he decides he's going to sabotage their ship that he's on. And they do discover his sabotage and lock him in the brig. And then we go back to the present. And Haven is getting really friendly with Enzo. And it's just strikes me odd. There's a person on Big Brother. And Cody took him to the end. And he won second prize. He'd won on an earlier season. And Cody took him to the end and he came in second. And Enzo was a character. He was an Italian from Jersey. I think Jersey. And it just struck me funny that the name she picked was Enzo for this character. So Haven gets to know Enzo. And Enzo's mom, Savina, is desperate for Enzo to get married and give children so she can pass on her witch gift. And Haven, because of her curiosity with the Aquila, goes to the library, discovers Holmes's diaries, and also discovers that legend had it that Mary had died, and she discovers this truth from the diaries, from Holmes's diaries of what really happened. And you also discover how the diaries ended up in the library. That is also in the book. So that's your. I don't want to spoil the ending, but so you have your two different time periods, and you have your shenanigan peoples in both time periods. But the really bad guys, the traitorous bad guy, is a hidden person in 1821, and you're sitting there going, huh? It's the coolest thing a person could imagine be the bad guy. You have the two brothers who are bad guys, and you don't like Corso, and Mary does turn him down for his eventual marriage, and her little sister's like, yay, I get to marry this guy. And allegedly, it wasn't too happy of a marriage, but you'll have to read the book to find out the extra details. But there's a real hidden traitor in 1821. A real hidden one that you didn't see coming. And you're like, oh, poor Mary. And then there's the evil you did see in present day with Conrad. But Haven knows something Conrad doesn't. So, what happens with her diving? What happens with Mavis's diving? What really happens with Holmes and Mary? What happens with the bad guys? Who's the real... I mean, there are bad guys that are up in your face in this book. But there's a bad guy lurking behind the book that you did not see coming. And that's when you're like, oh, good God, really? And then you have your present day greedy SOB in Conrad. It's a good story. It took about 2 hours. I was starting to write down all the different characters and pay attention to all the different stuff. I said, you know what? You just need the 4 or 5 if you want to go to them. Mary, Holmes, Haven, and the two brothers are your pupils. Conrad, the evil guy, is the extra. Caruso, the evil guy, is the extra. But the subliminal bad guy, you're gonna go, huh? Really? Good grief. It's where it's going. Good book. Thin book. 2 hours. Enjoyed the heck out of it. You don't get enough time to get emotionally involved in the book. You know, you don't get to know the characters that well or that long to get the book just goes. You just enjoy the book. It's a quick read. Take to the beach. Just read. Or curl up on the couch now in the October weather, sort of, kind of, and enjoy the book. It's good. It's good. It was good. It was a surprise it showed up. Have a good one.